Ladies and gentlemen, this is your AEW Dynamite review on Wednesday, March 24th, 2021. Thank you guys for joining us tonight on the Big Fight Field channel. I am Joseph Conlon, here tonight, of course, talking AEW. We have lots to talk about on the show tonight. We had a fantastic opening matchup between Kenny Omega and Matt Seidel, which is the first thing we're going to talk about because that's the first thing that opened up on the show. We had the debuting Pinnacle in a six-man tag. We had drama in the Elite, and we had a TNT Championship main event. So we got all of that and more to talk about tonight. So I thank you guys for joining me here on the channel. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring him in here now. You know by now, week 4. Co-host Wesley Williams. How are you, man?
I am doing great as always on Wednesday nights. Joseph, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm doing I can't complain. What'd you think of the show tonight?
Another home run. I think that makes 4 weeks in a row now that they have just hit home runs with these episodes. Man, I mean, they keep bringing the hits, and I keep loving it. And next week we got another great card set up with Christian's debut, and we're going to talk all about that, man. And I can't wait to talk about tonight. A lot of great action from start to finish, and let's get right into it.
Yeah, man. Let's get. This week's like no wasting time, none of that. Let's just boom. Let's get into the thing.
You already know.
Yeah, it's like ever since we've been doing the whole co-host thing on Wednesday nights, AEW in March. I think they haven't missed a Dynamite so far. I'm starting to really think that March of, legit, I'm starting to think that March of 2021 has been their best year their best month during the pandemic.
Yep. Yeah, it's hard to argue, man. I mean, they've had so many iconic moments happen. Like post-Revolution, they have just really brought out the hits here. I think Tony Khan really, really wanted to come out with these shows and really prove to everybody that, whatever happened at the end of Revolution, that was a flop, and we all know it. And he wanted to retaliate by, getting good AEW in the good graces with everybody again. And he's really done a great job with that with these past few weeks of shows. Tonight was no difference, and tomorrow and next week, we're probably gonna get another home run of a show.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just get into this show. We had Kenny Omega against Matt Seidel. This was a non-title match. If Seidel beated Omega, he would have earned a shot at the AEW World Championship. Dude, he was very close to. Yeah, you know what spot I'm talking about. He was very close to pinning Kenny Omega. I thought he actually pinned him for a second, but Omega got the win. I'm gonna try to remember the match the best I could, but this match was insane. You guys honestly have to go check it out. How long do you think the match was? Like 13, 15 minutes?
Yeah, about that. 13, 15. Sounds about right.
It's just insane. If you guys haven't seen this match yet, you have to watch this match. You just have to. So, Seidel and Omega. At first, the match was slow because I like that because Kenny's usually he took the pace slow here, and then Matt Seidel hit the top rope double knees to Kenny, and then they just went full blown right into the stretch. Seidel hit what's his finisher called that he hit on Kenny? It's like on this top rope, he swings him to the mat or something like that.
I cannot remember the exact name. I'm sure I've heard it before on like Dark or whatever, but I can't remember the exact name. But I do notice that he's not really pulling out the shooting star press anymore ever since All Out. So I do know that much.
No, but he came pretty close with that near fall on his finisher, and then he countered a couple of V triggers. The first one, he countered it into a poison Rana. A beautiful poison Rana for a 2 count. Then the second time he took a V trigger, and then Omega went for the one-winged angel, and Seidel bounced off the ropes, rolled up Omega, and I swear to God, this near fall this near fall almost made me jump off my seat. I was like, did he just beat Kenny Omega? But that did not happen. Kenny Omega, I think he kicked out at 2.99. Swear to God. And then Seidel got hit with another V-trigger, and Omega hit the one-winged angel, and Kenny Omega defeated Matt Seidel in the opening match. This match was just insane. Like I said, if you guys have not seen this match so far, for my request, you guys need to watch this match. I thought this was insane. Honestly, you couldn't have opened the show in a better way. But what do you think about this match?
I thought this was a great way to open Dynamite. I mean, AEW knows how to open up the show in a hot way, and this was no different. Matt Seidel, definitely his best match in AEW up to this point. It's really hard to have a bad match with Kenny Omega. I mean, Kenny Omega can make a paper bag look great. But man, Matt Seidel, I mean, he's great in his own right, and this was a great match here against Kenny Omega to really prove himself, to show that he can hang with the big guns and that he can be in that big role if the opportunity does come. And I thought this was a great way to kick us off. And yeah, that what you said, Joseph, about that near fall, I mean, that really got me too, man. I think it got just about everybody. That had to have been the closest near fall I've seen in quite a long time. I mean, you don't see near falls happen that close that often. So that was a really great touch. I mean, they made that look beautiful. And the one-winged angel hit on Seidel. Omega wins. Great, right decision there. You can't have your world champion getting pinned, clean and not in non-title matches on television. So yeah, great way to kick us off. And yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Next match, we had Adam Hangman Page against Cesar Benoni. This, your fave, Cesar Benoni. I know this was a 4-minute squash, and I say your fave, Cesar Benoni, because you had the similar stash together, and I heard you. I got sources, dude. I heard you are a big fan of Cesar Benoni and Peter Avalon.
Well, you must be listening to Ryan Satin, I guess, because I don't know about those sources, man. I mean, look, I will say this: Peter Avalon's much better in the gimmick that he has now than he was the Librarian. I will give him that, because the Librarian gimmick sucked. But yeah, I think with Benoni tonight, I did hear something about something going on with his family. I think Tony Khan actually gave him this match tonight against Hangman, just to kind of give us shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow with him, just to kind of reward him in a way because of everything that's going on in his personal life. This was a nice little squash match here for Hangman. Benoni got a little bit of his stuff in, and then Hangman got the big win. And I'm not sure really where they're headed with Page, but I do know that he's number 2 ranked in the singles division. Very, very interesting, because maybe, just maybe, we could be getting Omega and Page sooner than we thought. Who knows? We're going to have to see in the coming weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. I do like the fact that Tony Khan gave Benoni this match, because he came out with something on Monday and saying he was going through some struggling things and all that stuff, and a couple of wrestlers reached out to him, and it's just pretty cool to see when someone needs help, and you have an entire roster and you have your boss there to help you. It's just very cool for me.
Yeah, it's definitely great. I mean, Tony Khan, just a class act overall. I mean, he knows how to treat his employees well, and you just love to see it. And I think that was cool that even though Benoni got a short time on Dynamite tonight, he got a chance to be in there with one of the top guys in AEW and Hangman Page. So that was really cool to see.
Mm-hmm. Next, we had a promo by Dr. Britt Baker. She immediately shoved off Tony Schiavone. She cut a very good promo here, dude. She was talking about how Thunder Rosa said that she brought women's wrestling to the map, and she's like, well, she don't even work here. She's not even signed here. Britt Baker's the first female wrestler signed in AEW, and she don't need all these superstars and all of these legends coming out and telling her how they thought about the match. And she even took a dig at Mick Foley. She was like, hey, Mick Foley, thanks for the compliment. And the one line that stuck with me was actually related to Mick Foley, where she said, "It took you 20 years to be a hardcore legend, while it took me one night." That was gold, dude. That was absolutely gold. So, to me, this feud is not over, and I thought last week was the perfect blow-off match for this feud with Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. But the way Britt was talking and the way this promo came off, to me, I don't think this feud's over yet between Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, I would love to see what happens, but this promo tonight by Britt Baker was a thing of beauty. I will say this, and I don't want to hear any arguments about it. Britt Baker is your next AEW Women's World Champion. Put the strap on her, because I think last week really proved that she is ready. She's more than ready. And I don't think anybody else in that women's division should be taking that strap off of Hikaru Shida other than Britt Baker. I mean, she has really improved so much since we originally saw her. She was the first woman signed to AEW, and, from the get-go, people weren't really feeling her all that much. Now, you fast forward to now here in 2021, she has improved so greatly, promo-wise and in the ring-wise, and that is the woman you have to put the AEW Women's title on. I will take nobody else. Britt Baker is your next AEW Women's World Champion. Great promo tonight. That's a one-liner. Mick Foley was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's gonna happen, I think, but she should. I still think that we'll talk about this later when we get to the women's match with Ty Conte getting the win over Nyla Rose. Are they gonna build up a little bit of momentum just for Shida to get a title defense right in before she faces Britt Baker? I mean, we'll probably talk about that when we get to the women's match, but we had the debut of the Pinnacle. It was FTR and Shawn Spears against the Varsity Blondes and Dante Martin of Top Flight. The six-man, it was fine for what it was. We had another six-man on the night. I enjoyed that more. But this was a typical six-man tag, nothing too bad. Shawn Spears actually got the win with the C4 to, I believe it was Pillman Jr., and he picks up the win for the Pinnacle. Tony Schiavone's coming down to the ring for an interview. After the match, the Pinnacle beat up the Varsity Blondes and Dante Martin. Wardlow puts Pillman on the top rope, or the second rope, and does his knee to Pillman. I don't know about you, dude, but the F10 for Wardlow is so much better than this move. I have no idea who came up with this finisher for Wardlow, but for me, it's got to go. I don't like it.
I don't know if I would call that as bad. I think it's usually a setup move from what I've seen in his past matches. But yeah, I agree. I mean, the F10 is an amazing move. It definitely fits Wardlow. I don't know if they've really replaced it so much. I mean, I think he just kind of used it just to kind of put it over a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I don't exactly mind the move so much. But yeah, the F10 is just that's definitely like his finisher. I mean, that's just like a top tier move for him.
Yeah, absolutely. So we had a promo by the Pinnacle, and we had FTR speaking on the microphone. Dax was speaking on the microphone. He's talking about Santana and Ortiz and them being beaten down, and they're having a good career so far, but they're not better than FTR. So down the point, man, if we see FTR go up in a tag team match against Santana and Ortiz, woo! Take my money. Take my money, man. That on free TV, that's gonna be amazing. And then MJF got on the microphone and he said that he's got a big gift for his boys in the Pinnacle, his quote unquote family now. The Pinnacle are family, and he promises that one day the Pinnacle are going to have all of the gold in AEW. I don't think they're going to have all the gold pretty soon, but hey, maybe by 2022, you have FTR as the tag team champions, Shawn Spears as the TNT champion, MJF the world champion. Oh boy, You're looking at it. You're looking at the takeover for the Pinnacle, but I want to get your thoughts on all of this stuff from the Pinnacle tonight. Obviously, they're one of the biggest part of the entire company right now to me. So, what do you think about the 6-man and the post-match segment that took place with MJF?
Yeah, I thought the 6-man was fine. I think it was just overall was successful in putting over the Pinnacle. They really ended the match quickly, going back into the show from the commercial break. I was like, because I usually don't pay attention to the split screen commercial breaks, but when they got back into the show, they ended that match probably like 20, 30 seconds after the commercial break. So I was kind of like surprised they ended it that quickly. I was like, oh, okay. But we got right into that interview segment in the ring with Tony Schiavone. I love the fact that like Wardlow and the Pinnacle were intimidating Tony Schiavone in the ring. Like Tony was going to say something, and MJF's like, what was that? What was that, Tony? What was that, Tony? I love it, man. It's classic MJF, and it's really putting them over as just like an intimidating, like dominant faction. And it's hard to argue with MJF that he promises they're going to hold all the gold in AEW one day. I definitely see it, and it's bound to happen. I mean, it's going to be just like the Undisputed Era in NXT, where they were on their expedition of gold and they ended up accomplishing that expedition, and they held all the gold in NXT. I can definitely see the same thing happening here with the Pinnacle. They got such a great thing going here with MJF and the crew, and it's going to be really cool to see what else they do going forward. And the Inner Circle is bound to show up again sooner rather than later. I don't know when yet, but I like the fact that they're holding them off TV for just a little longer. And then once we get closer to Double or Nothing, hopefully we will get that blood and guts match that we're all anticipating.
We talked about this last week. Like, bringing them back this soon after the beating they took would not be a good decision at all. I think either on that April 7th show or the week after that. I think mid-April they will make their return and we will start the build to Blood and Guts from there. But like we said last week, man, when they return and they attack the Pinnacle, that's going to get a huge reaction, I think.
Yeah, I could definitely see April 7th, and I know they are planning an April 9th non-televised episode, which is very interesting there. That's going to be on that Friday. But yeah, I could definitely see April 7th, somewhere middle April, like you said, and then we'll get everything going with the hopeful Blood and Guts match set to come in at Double or Nothing. Hope to see it happen. I think we're heading towards that direction.
Now, you brought up this April 9th show. I want to talk about it real quick before we talk about QT Marshall. I don't really know how to feel about this. They're gonna get a non-televised AEW show on Friday, April 9th. That is the weekend of WrestleMania. This just feels random to me. I don't know why they did it, but I really don't have a good explanation to you. I just don't know why they did it. I hope they don't do the route where they do house shows. I think that would be a bad idea because you're risking talent getting hurt more because that's how most WWE talent got hurt when they did house shows. And B, it's just unnecessary because the AEW has talent that go to other shows. Like they have wrestlers competing in Tampa the same week as WrestleMania. But if they go down the house show route and they want to do that, I don't think I'm that big of a fan of it. What about you?
Yeah, I'm not sure really what to make of this just yet. I mean, I don't know if this is just a one-time thing because it's the week of WrestleMania and there's already going to be so much wrestling happening. Maybe they just wanted to, I guess, join in on the fun for that week. I'm not really sure what to make of it. I don't know what their plan is. I mean, I'm with you in the camp of, like, I don't think doing house shows is a good idea. It's like you said, it causes more injuries or it causes more of a chance for injuries for certain wrestlers. And so I don't know. This could just be a one-time thing and, that'd be that. But, hopefully they're not going down the house show route. I mean, they already got 3 shows, where they're showcasing talent with Dynamite. You got Dark, you got Elevation on Mondays. You don't really need a house show loop to happen anyway. And so I'm not really sure what Tony Khan's thinking, but, I'm kind of hoping this is just a one-time deal and we just kind of go forward with just the regular schedule that they're already doing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just, like I said, it's very unnecessary, but QT Marshall, wow, he cut the best promo of his career, in my opinion. So he was in there. He was on the stage with Tony Schiavone, and he said he needed to get something off his chest. He says he's not turning on the Nightmare Factory family. He's not a bad guy. He still loves the Nightmare family, but he needs a chance. He feels like he's been overlooked for way too long. Besides Tony Khan, he's been one of the hardest working people, finding talent all over the world to come to Dark and to come to AEW. And if you really think about it, he's right. Most of the talent that you see on Dark are coming from the Nightmare family, like the Nightmare Factory. Like you had, during the pandemic, you had 10 of the Dark Order. I think you had 5 of the Dark Order. Lee Johnson was there, obviously. Sean Dean. There's a lot of guys that came from the Nightmare family over to AEW during the course of the pandemic. So QT could be right in that instance. But he just asked for one chance. He's always been called Cody's friend. And he gets a Cody's friend, and the crowd chants Cody's friend. And he says he don't know if he could get approval of this from himself, but maybe upper management will approve the match. He just wants to face Cody Rhodes. And Cody comes out and he says, you have your match. It'll be an exhibition match, but just let you know, I'm not going to hurt you. If I put you in the figure 4, I'm going to stop. If I'm attempting to give you the crossroads, I'm going to stop. I'm your friend. You are my friend. You are one of my best friends, and I don't want to hurt you. And Arn Anderson was named the special enforcer of this match. I think I'm gonna give 2 predictions for this match next week, because I could see a few scenarios happening. Either number 1, Cody Rhodes is going to straight up beat him. QT is going to snap, and he's going to be like, I'm done with this family. And he's going to attack Cody Rhodes, and he's going to leave the family. Or number 2, QT is beating up Cody's arm so bad in the match. Arn Anderson stops the match. QT continues to beat up Cody's arm. He then attacks Arn, and then he leaves the family. One of those 2 things are going to happen next week. I'm probably going to go with the safe route and give the first option, but man, it's a lot of possibilities, and I'm quite interested in this match next week. What about you, man?
Yeah, I'm interested as well. I think either way you look at it, QT's turning full-fledged heel next week. They've teased it for quite some time now, and I think QT is finally going to snap next week against Cody. And it's very interesting how they have Arn Anderson in here, too. You know, you got the whole, Nightmare family, situation going into this. But, yeah, I definitely see QT going full-fledged here. I think he honestly, either way, I think he'll lose this match, and then he'll proceed to break Cody's arm even more. And then, this was announced later on in the show. Cody and Brandy are about to have their new reality show on TNT called Roads to the Top. I think this is a way to kind of write Cody off of television for a bit, and he can probably go do that. I guess they already pre-recorded some stuff, but maybe he can go record more episodes of that. Who knows? And he's got Go Big Show. Cody's got a lot of big television stuff going on, so maybe this is a way to kind of write him off television for a while, and this is a great way to put QT over. I mean, to go after one of the big names in AEW and Cody Rhodes, one of the EVPs. I mean, what better way to really get yourself over as a dastardly heel? So I think I see going both routes. I think QT will lose. He'll snap, and he'll break Cody's arm even more, and then we'll see Cody written off television for a bit.
Yeah, it could be one of those ways, and then we get a match between probably maybe QT and Dustin on Dynamite, and then if Cody wants to, we get another match between Cody and QT, some stipulation, a double or nothing. They could do a lot of stuff with this, so we'll have to see, man. We had a 6-man between the Lucha Bros and Laredo Kid against the Young Bucks and Brandon Cutler. This was a very good 6-man tag. Lots of action, non-stop action. And all 6 of these guys look great. Cutler, even to me, he's not the best guy they have, but he fit for me. He fit pretty well into this match. He did end up taking the pin to Laredo Kid after the Spanish Fly, but this was a very good match to me. It's a very good match. I don't really have anything to say about it because I got a lot to say about the segment that happened after this. So go ahead, man.
Yeah, the segment after was definitely the biggest talking point. But getting into the match really quick, that 6-man, very, very fun. I think we all knew going into this it was going to be a big spot fest. So, I mean, if you're really expecting something different, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but this was still very, very fun for us. It was really awesome to see Laredo Kid back in AEW since the last time we saw him at Fighter Fest, I believe. And it was really cool to see him back here with Pac being hurt right now. He's going to be out a few more weeks until we can get that tag title match with him and Phoenix versus the Young Bucks. But the story after the match was the bigger picture, and with Kenny coming out and giving the Young Bucks an ultimatum: either you two sweep me right here in the ring, or we're done forever. The Elite is over. And the Young Bucks, they proceed to decline it, and they walk away. And the Elite, as far as we know, is over. And afterwards, we see Lucha Brothers stump the super kick Kenny and deliver the tag team finisher that they do with the package pile driver, and Kenny's chin is just busted wide open after that, and the Good Brothers come to console Kenny. But so very interesting there, and then that sets up the big 6-man next week with Kenny and the Good Brothers versus Laredo Kid, Lucha Brothers, which should be another great 6-man tag right there. But this Elite storyline has definitely been something that's been brewing up for a long time now, and it's very interesting as we continue to go week to week with this. But it looks like, as far as we know, the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega are done for, and that they've hit the end of their road.
Yeah, that's the way they would go. I thought this was one of the biggest things on the entire show. To me, the way I look at this is this opens up a bunch, and I mean a bunch, of possibilities in the tag team division with the Young Bucks as champions. Obviously, Pac and Rey Fenix are still owed a tag team title match. Pac is out with an ankle injury. It is said to be a minor injury, but he's out of action right now. I don't know when he's going to be back, but I expect when he comes back, I don't know, if he's fine by April 7th, maybe they do the tag team title match on April 7th, since they have they're going against TakeOver, Stand and Deliver that same night. So maybe you put that match on April 7th if Pac's all right. But you obviously have Pac and Phoenix having their match. Then you have the actual Lucha Brothers tag team dropping we want what you have, the tag team championships. So maybe we get another Lucha Bros Young Bucks match at Double or Nothing, but I don't see that happening. And then we have the Good Brothers obviously aligned themselves with Kenny Omega. Kenny could be so frustrated at the Bucks that he got turned down twice, and he chose Brandon Cutler over Kenny Omega, that the Good Brothers, they take out the Young Bucks whenever, and we get the Good Brothers versus the Young Bucks for the tag team championships, which I think is everybody's top possibility in this. But another tag team you guys have to look out for right now in AEW is SCU. SCU, a couple months ago, I think it was a month ago, they said, Danielson Kazarian, of course, if they ever lost another tag team match, they are done as a tag team. They are done as a tag team in AEW, and they have not lost ever since they said that. They have been racking up win after win after win after win, and currently they are 8-0 this year, and they are number one in the tag team division. So I think we're either going to get the Good Brothers versus the Young Bucks. This is my long-term story booking right here, folks. It might happen or it might not happen. I think at Double or Nothing, which is not until May 30th, we get either the Good Brothers versus the Young Bucks or SCU versus the Young Bucks. One of those two matches are happening at Double or Nothing. And this just goes to show you how fun and unpredictable the AEW tag team division really is. I want to get your thoughts on it, your thoughts on the tag team titles with with this segment happening afterwards. Like, who do you see challenging the Bucks later down the line?
It's a lot of moving variables, a lot of different options. I agree with you, Joseph. I think we could either see Good Brothers versus Young Bucks or SCU versus the Young Bucks. SCU's got their story going on with their win-loss record, and they haven't lost a single match in 2021. If they lose another match, they're done for as a tag team. They've been together for better part of 10 years now, and they will officially call it quits if they lose another match. That's a story you could play going into the pay-per-view, but then you got the Good Brothers with Kenny Omega, and that being aligned together right there, and then the Good Brothers feuding with the Young Bucks. It would make all the sense in the world for them to go after the AEW tag team titles, knowing that they're especially no longer the Impact tag team champions. It makes all the sense in the world. So it's going to be interesting to see. I definitely see one of those two scenarios happening. We'll have to see how it goes. But yeah, I think either way, we're going to get a really great storyline out of it over the tag team titles. And it's very, very interesting with all this stuff going on with this storyline with Kenny and the Bucks.
Now, I know this is going to be a hard question, but which one would you rather see, the Good Brothers or SCU?
I probably would have to go with the Good Brothers, since that's probably more of the major storyline right now, because it concerns the elite. SCU versus the Young Bucks, I wouldn't mind either, but I'd say I'm more in favor of the Good Brothers, but because that whole storyline there. But SCU and the Bucks, I think that's something. Maybe if you wanted to book on a Dynamite going into Double or Nothing May 30th, I think that's a great way to do it. I probably wouldn't see it as soon as April 7th, competing with the NXT TakeOver pay-per-view, but I think we could see it somewhere down the line heading into May 30th.
Next up, we had Ty Conte versus Nyla Rose, accompanied to the ring by Vicky Guerrero. These two women have great chemistry together. They had a match on back in the women's eliminator tournament. They had a very good match tonight. Ty Conte finally got her victory over Nyla Rose. We saw a new whole side of Ty Conte with viciousness and, she was hard strikes to Nyla Rose. She looked very good in this match, and she finally got the win over Nyla Rose with her finisher, which is called the DD tie. I don't know about you. Does that sound cringe to you?
It's not too. I've heard worse names before, so it doesn't really faze me all that much. Ty Conti really delivered in this match. It's amazing how much she's improved over time. You look at her days back in NXT and how she was pretty green during that point in her career. But ever since she moved over to AEW, man, it's like she's really improved more and more. And I know that they've probably been working with her, and she's been having to get to work more and more matches on Dark, and I'm just really impressed by her work. I'm a big fan of Ty Conti, and I especially loved that tightrope knee strike that she did tonight on Nyla Rose. That was probably my favorite spot in the match right there. That was very impressive. That was like a Ray Phoenix maneuver right there, and I thought that was super cool. But this was a huge win for Ty Conti. I think they're starting to maybe push her a little bit more now, and I don't mind to see it.
After the match, Nyla Rose attacks Ty Conti, continues to attack her after losing the match. Then Shida actually comes out, the women's champion, with a kendo stick. She hits Nyla Rose with the stick. She goes to check on Ty Conti. The bunny comes out, and she hits Shida with the kendo stick. And we get a brawl between all four of the women. And it sets up a tag team match between Ty Conti and Shida against Nyla Rose and the bunny next week on Dynamite. Now, we talked about this earlier. Obviously, Britt Baker is going to be your next women's champion. It is just bound to happen, especially after last week. But you got to think Shida's probably going to have a defense or two, before she drops the title to Britt Baker. Do you think AEW is starting to build up Ty Conti and possibly have her go in and challenge Shida for the women's champion, because she is number one in the power rankings right now. Ty Conti is number one, so they could easily have her slide in there and challenge Shida on an episode of Dynamite whenever for the Women's Championship. It could very well happen.
Yeah, I think that's probably the route they're going with Ty being at the top of the rankings in the women's division. I think that's probably where they're going to go. We might see that match culminate on April 7th, competing with NXT TakeOver. So we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, I think what I could see next week is Shida and Conte get the win over the Bunny and Nyla Rose, and then maybe Conte cuts a promo afterwards and challenges Shida for that women's title since she is in the power rankings. And so we'll have to see what happens to that. But I wouldn't mind a Shida versus Ty Conte AEW Women's Championship matchup heading into Double or Nothing before we do get the eventual Hikaru Shida Britt Baker match, which is what I'm predicting.
Yep. Next week we got 5 matches lined up for the show. Again, next week is looking great, folks. We have the debut of Christian Cage, who's going to be going one-on-one with Frankie Kazarian. I bet Christian probably handpicked Frankie to be his first opponent since they have history in Impact Wrestling with each other all the way back from, I believe, 2007. So that should be very interesting to watch. Christian Cage making his debut next week. We have Cody Rhodes versus QT Marshall. The Lucha Brothers and Laredo Kid versus Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. We have the arcade entry match. I think that's what it's called.
Arcade Anarchy. Yeah.
The Arcade Anarchy match with Miro and Kip Sabian versus Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy. That has to be the end of the feud next week. They gotta end it.
I hope so, man. I'm so ready to just move on from this.
And then we have the women's tag match, like we said. Shida and Ty Conti against Nyla Rose and the Bunny. Your main event for this evening was for the TNT Championship with John Silver against Darby Allin. They had a 13-minute match. This was a great main event. John Silver, I'll tell you what, man. Darby sold the shit out of what John Silver was doing, especially throwing Darby to the turnbuckles, to both sides. He gave him a suplex on the ring, and Darby acted like he couldn't even breathe, and he was like he just got drilled on the mat. And then Dark Order started to get involved, and Sting then came out. No music. Sting did come out. That was a fair one-on-one match. Darby was actually going for the coffin drop. He looked like he was going to do it on Silver, but he did it to all the members of the Dark Order on the outside. Then I think Silver turns it into he meets Darby on the top, hits a swinging power bomb of some sorts to Darby, which looked absolutely beautiful. Very close near fall. Then he goes for the Brody Lee power bomb. It gets reversed into a code red, and Darby Allin barely retains the TNT Championship, just like Kenny Omega barely defeated Matt Seidel. So this was a great main event. After the match, Darby Allin got attacked by Big Money Matt Hardy. Private Party went out after the Dark Order. We had a huge brawl with the Dark Order, Private Party, Darby, Matt Hardy. Sting even got in there. Ty Conti was brawling with the Bunny. And that was the way Dynamite went off the air. Great main event match. John Silver, he's a beast. He did not get buried by losing to Darby in this match at all. But I don't think we needed that post-match brawl right there. But it does set up possibly for Matt Hardy challenging Darby Allin for the TNT Championship, which I would not mind. I would not mind that because, A, Matt Hardy has not challenged for a title in AEW ever since he has been with the company, and B, it would fit into the money gimmick because at Revolution, Matt Hardy lost all of his earnings from Q1 of 2021. And he could tell Private Party, guys, in order for me to get my money back that I lost to Adam Hangman Page, I need to be the TNT champion. I need to be Darby Allin, and I need to become the TNT champion. I think that makes a lot of sense with the big money Matt gimmick, and I would not mind a Matt Hardy-Darby Allin match for the TNT championship. Your thoughts on the main event and the post-match angle to close the show?
Yeah, this was an excellent way to end the show. We started off the show with an excellent match. We ended it on another excellent match. John Silver, clearly Tony Khan sees a lot in John Silver. There's a reason why he was picked to challenge Darby Allin for the TNT title tonight. Clearly AEW, they see so much of John Silver, and for good reason. The guy is probably the most charismatic out of everybody in the Dark Order. The guy he's just a firecracker when he gets in that ring, man. I mean, the dude, for a guy his size, man, he just can go like a big guy in the ring, like he reminds me. It's like he reminds me of like a bit of a smaller Cesaro almost, like this guy's just a workhorse. I mean, he just gets in there, he's just fired up, and he's just ready to just take on anything. And Darby Allin did just such an excellent job tonight, putting him over and making him look like $1 million in there. I mean, Darby, he's one of the best sellers in all of pro wrestling, man. The guy just loves to just kill his own body in any capacity that he can. And John Silver and Darby Allin just really tore the house down tonight with this match. And then we got the post-match angle with Matt Hardy and his crew attacking the Dark Order and Darby. I agree with you, Joseph. I think we could be getting a Matt Hardy, Darby Allin TNT title match somewhere down the line. When that happens, I'm not sure yet, but that would make a lot of sense. What you said with like Matt Hardy wanting to get those earnings back that he lost to Hangman Page at Revolution, and he can't do that without challenging for the TNT title. So I wouldn't mind a Matt Hardy Darby Allin match for the TNT title somewhere down the line. We'll have to see what happens with that, but we could still be seeing a bit of a progression more and more though with Hangman and Matt Hardy, knowing that Hangman's associated with the Dark Order now officially. I think maybe, I've seen people brought up a Stadium Stampede match, bringing that back for Double or Nothing since they had it last year with the Elite and the Inner Circle. Maybe we could get it with the Dark Order and Matt Hardy and his Empire. Who knows? We'll have to see what happens with that. But yeah, it's a very interesting way to end the show. I mean, the brawl wasn't super necessary, but, at the same time, it does advance something going into next week.
So if you're going to have this match at the Stadium Stampede, it would probably be, just again, long-term storytelling again. It would be Hangman, I would guess, Uno, Grayson, Silver, and Reynolds of the Dark Order against Matt Hardy, Private Party, the Butcher and the Blade. Hey, man, I would like that. That's a pretty good match. And then you have the Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle in Blood and Guts. But ladies and gentlemen, we had another great episode of Dynamite tonight, and we had another great review again. We did it again, dude.
Just like Dynamite keeps hitting the home runs with these episodes, man, we're hitting home runs with these reviews. And folks, please support us. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. We did some good numbers last week. We did. We're still getting hundreds of views on these videos, and we really appreciate it. And we just want to let you guys know that we really love and appreciate all the support you give us every single Wednesday. We're here to give you the best content on Wednesday nights, and we really hope that you enjoy what we have to say here on a weekly basis. And folks, again, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If you want more of the greatest tag team in the IWC, you got to hit the like button, you got to hit the subscribe button. Support us, support Big Fight Feel. You already know the drill.
Yep, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more content this week. We're going to have NXT tomorrow with Cameron Johnson. We're going to have SmackDown on Friday. And then on Sunday, we're going to end off the week with episode 4 of the Big Fight Feel podcast. Comment down below. I want to know everything you guys thought about on tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite. Let me know in the comments below. Hit that like button if you like what myself and Wesley talked about in the review tonight. Follow me on Twitter at Colin_Joseph. Follow this Cesar Benoni fan at Big West at Big.
I'm gonna change my Twitter name to Cesar Benoni Stan. I probably should just go ahead and do it. I might as well.
I'm not forcing you. But you could go follow him on Twitter. Where do you go follow yourself? Where can they follow you on Twitter?
Well, if you want some of the best tweets in the IWC, you follow your boy at big_West18. I will spell it out for you. BIG_WES18. Big_West18. Follow me on Twitter. Follow Joseph at Colin_Joseph on Twitter as well. We give you the best tweets. We give you the best reviews. We give you the best everything in the IWC, so you know where to find us. And we hope you come and support us and follow us.
Thank you guys for watching the review. Have a good night. Stay safe. And as always, stay classy.